Hello and welcome back. Chances are that if you clicked on this video, you are interested in starting your own jewelry business. I am going to share with you all the things that I wish I knew before I started my jewelry business. Right from how I came up with ideas for my brand, how you can design your own logo and business cards, and how I got my jewelry into shops and galleries and sold my first pieces of handmade jewelry. The first thing I did was a 1-week taster jewelry workshop. After that, I absolutely knew it's what I wanted to do. So I enrolled in a 1-year course after that, which was a great way to set myself up with a base of really good skills. If you're interested in trying your hand at some jewelry making, I would suggest having a look in your local area and seeing what is available there. Or if you're nearby, have a look on my website. I do offer a range of beginner classes if you're interested in that. And I also plan on doing some online courses a little bit more, so keep an eye out for that. This is a really great way of checking out if jewelry making is something for you, because you may be interested in jewelry, but you don't actually want to make it yourself. If you do decide that jewelry making is something that you really enjoy, I would suggest investing in a few tools. You really don't need a whole bunch of things right in the beginning. You can make quite a lot on a really simple setup. Or another option is to look in your area and see if there's any jewelry studios that offer hourly rentals or daily rentals to use their space and their tools. So that's also something that you could look into. Or maybe you like jewelry, but you don't actually want to make it yourself. If this is the case, then there are different options as well. You can either find someone to create your designs for you if you like that part of the process, but you don't want to actually make it yourself, or you can source pre-made items and sell those. I don't work that way, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but that's also an option for you. Once you decide to start officially, I would suggest venturing into social media, whether that's Facebook for you or if it's Instagram. Personally, I prefer Instagram because it's a really visual platform, so I think that works really well for jewelry. You may have a personal account, but you'd actually need to set up a business account. The reason for that is the business accounts have a lot more features that are going to be really useful for you further down the line with your jewelry business, such as linking your shop items with the products on your Instagram. And that's a really good way of advertising. So I would suggest doing that if you're going to do this. Don't worry if you don't know what to post yet. Even simply posting about starting up your business is a really nice way to begin. People will obviously become interested in what you're doing and they will want to keep following you to follow along for your journey. Engage with people as much as you can. This is super important. The more energy and effort you put in, the more you get out from it. There's a really beautiful community out there of makers and designers. So I'd suggest following a lot of them and, getting some inspiration as you go. And also maybe have a look at following people who you think would be interested in buying your jewelry as well, because that's a good way to target people who might be potential customers. It's also important not to let the idea of perfection stop you from starting. You can always change the name or hide any pictures. Same goes with the Instagram account and with the whole jewelry business itself. The next thing I would suggest is to create a mood board. This is a really great way to narrow down your aesthetic. Personally, I would suggest using Pinterest, which is what I use. I find it really visual and a really nice way to really start kind of gathering things together that represent your brand. And also it's a good way to kind of start selecting your colors at this point too. So you kind of should select a few colors, so 1 or 2 darker colors and then 3 or 4 lighter colors that kind of sum up your brand aesthetic. Obviously, you can use these further down the line wherever you need, either on your website, your Etsy, your business cards, your logo. So it's a good idea to kind of start narrowing those down already. A great beginner tool that I absolutely love and can't stop going on about is Canva. Not sponsored, but I'll put a link in the description below if you want to check it out. There you can make your own logos, business cards, Instagram posts, posters, all kinds of stuff, you name it. They've got amazing templates and you can adjust pretty much everything on there. It's also a really nice place that you can select your fonts and your brand kit. So there's a special brand kit section on it as well. Or if you don't feel like you have any sort of design eye and you'd prefer someone else to do it for you and you don't have a big budget, there is also an option of using Fiverr. So commissioning someone on there to create your logo and business cards for you. So check that out too. That is also another option for you. When I started, I didn't know about Canva or Fiverr, so luckily for me, I had a friend who had some graphic design skills, so she helped me make my logo and business cards for me. So thanks a lot, Carrie. With regards to your business name, it's really up to you, and it really doesn't matter. You can also, like I said before, you can change this later on down the line. Think of Amazon, Apple, ASOS. They don't say anything about what the company does. For all you like, you can call yourself Olive. In the end, it's a brand that you're going to create that will be associated with the name. Basically, have fun with this step, but don't let it hold you back from starting. Just pick something and you can always change it down the line. Decide how and where you want to sell, whether this is online or in physical shops. Etsy is a great place to sell your designs if the idea of creating a website is too daunting for you. Personally, I used Squarespace to start off with, and then I moved over to Shopify. Shopify has some really good e-commerce features and lots of apps that you can integrate with it. The reason I created a website in the beginning was because I had the opportunity to exhibit my work at new designers at the end of my studies. This was a really great way for me to showcase my work to a bunch of shops and galleries, and in that way I got invited to stock a couple of them, which was really amazing for me to start. Obviously, you don't have to go this route. Basically, the most important thing is to try and find a way to get your stuff in front of the correct audience for you. I would suggest doing some thinking about the age range of your target audience and where would be the best place to find them. You can obviously start with family and friends, and via word of mouth, things will progress from there as well. That's a great way to start. Yes, those sales do count, don't worry. We all make our first sales like that, and that is still valid. And then a friend of a friend will see it, and then it goes on from there. So that is also a good way to do it. You can even contact influencers and see if they'd be willing to do a post for you in exchange for an item of jewelry. Often people are happy to do this for free because, one, they're getting a piece of amazing, beautiful handmade jewelry. And if it's something that they actually really like, then it's a win-win situation. So that's why it's quite important to only contact influencers that you think would actually like your jewelry, that would really suit your style. That way, they can confidently promote it. Basically, in the beginning, just try and find as many free ways of gaining advertising as you can. Further down the line, you can obviously do paid advertising via Facebook ads, for example, but in the beginning, just start with all the freebies. Another thing that worked really well for me is connecting with people face-to-face through live events, exhibitions, pop-ups, and things like that. Have a look in your local area and see if there's any craft markets or pop-ups or anything like that happening that you could maybe get involved in. This is a really good way of gauging people's reaction to your collection. For example, you may have just made this collection at home and have no idea if anyone's going to like it at all. I personally found that quite scary in the beginning, putting out a whole body of work that you've just spent months making and not even knowing if people are going to like it. So just get out there, don't be shy, just do it, and this way you'll be able to gauge people's reactions, whether they like this piece or that piece, or if they want more of this, or if they're not interested in that, and that way it will help you to kind of refine your designs and your ideas. This also leads me to another very important point: pricing. Do not undercharge. Really, genuinely, this is a big mistake we as makers often make in the beginning, but in the end, you want to create a viable business, right? So if you're undercharging and you're not even covering your costs, or you haven't spent time working out your costs, then you don't know if it's going to work or not. So really do calculate each item, how much it costs, how long it takes you, and work those prices out. Once you have your first collection or two up and running, maybe you want to put your things in shops. So what I would do is go around and have a preliminary walk around your neighborhood or an area that you think your target audience would frequent. Pop into the shops there and ask the people behind the counter who would be the best person to get in touch with if you were interested in supplying them with your jewelry. That way, then you're not being too pushy and you're not just walking in there and demanding people stop whatever they're doing and look at your jewelry. This doesn't go down well. Don't go that way. So what you need to do is be very casual about it, pretend you've just popped in for a walk, and your aim was not to go in and seek a meeting with a person right away. So once you have this contact information, when you're back at home, write up an email. You can copy paste it to all the shops you've been to, obviously adjust it where needs be, and say what you like about the shop and that you think your jewelry could go quite nicely in them, and if they would be interested in having a look at it, right? That way it is on their terms, they can look at it when they feel comfortable. Follow up with an email and a catalog. If you don't have tech skills, like I already mentioned, and I'm at peace with, I don't, what I did is I commissioned someone on Fiverr to design one for me. So that way you can make your work look really professional, even if you don't have those skills yourself. That is okay. It took me time to come to terms with the fact that I am not amazing at every aspect of the business. In the beginning, obviously, you have to juggle everything. You have to be an expert in this and that and that. But as you go further down the line, you're going to have to prioritize what you spend your time on. So if techie bits is not your area of expertise, find a friend, find someone on Fiverr, just find another way of doing it. So for example, editing my pictures onto a white background, I can do it, but it takes me a really long time. And personally, I think my time is better spent doing the things that I am good at, because then that way the business will grow quicker. I hope you found that helpful and useful in some way. If you would like to have a chat with me, I'm going to do a giveaway this week where I'll pick someone from the comments section to have one-to-one, 1 hour long conversation on whatever you like, starting your jewelry business, where you're at now, if you need any tips, or you just want to have a chat about how to begin and you need a little bit more moral support, then I'd be happy to have a chat with you. So just drop a comment down below and I will announce the winner in next week's video. And that brings me to announce last week's winner of the textured silver earrings that I made in last week's tutorial. This week, I'd like to congratulate Isabel Verheyden from Brussels for winning the pair of textured earrings. Drop me a message and let me know your contact details and I'll post those out to you. I hope you liked them. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, let's connect either here or on Instagram, where I am at MC Jewellery. If you have any questions, drop me a line and let's have a chat. Till next time, have a great week. Do not undercharge. Etsy is a really great place to start off with. Decide how and where you want to sell, whether